Hi, everyone.
Hello again. We're in Genesis chapter 18. Today we thought to read only the first 3 verses.
Okay. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre, while he was sitting at the entrance to his tent, and in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, "If I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, do not pass your servant by."
I remember when I would have dialogue on God with evangelical Christians as a young and zealous Jehovah's Witness, that some Christians would press upon me that what Abraham actually saw here was the Trinity. The 3 men are actually the 3 persons of the Trinity. Of course, I challenged them, and that's why it's significant that later on I found out that what they said wasn't what the great commentators on Genesis had said. The great commentators saw something I didn't see, that's for sure. But on the other hand, they didn't see what my zealous evangelical friends saw. That this is somehow the 3 members of the Trinity are incarnate, as it were, here.
So they have really the same problem, is that they're number oriented. They're looking at the number and then flowing with it.
Yeah, but the text would challenge me as a Jehovah's Witness. It became a very important text. Now, we've spoken about this in another video, in one of the initial videos we did on Genesis. I think it's number 13. We're going to link it at the end.
Yeah.
About the surprises and the shocks we got from the book. But we didn't get what these zealous Trinitarians got from it. And that's why it's so exciting to read what the commentators have actually said about this, because what you find the Jewish commentators saying and the Christian commentators saying 2 different things, of course. Which one are you more like as a Jehovah's Witness? It's interesting to trace that. So here's what one commentator said in the Soncino Bible, which is Jewish. Mr. Friedman said what?
The Lord here means the 3 angels, verse 2. First, the Lord appeared to him in a prophetic vision, and then he saw 3 men. God's appearance to him was a reward for his obedience and indicated that he was pleased with him.
So 2 problems from the standpoint of a Christian here. One is the idea that somehow Abraham was being rewarded by the Lord appearing to him personally.
Yeah, that's more like we thought.
That's JW theology.
That's a JW, yeah.
And the other thing, more important for this discussion, is who does he take the 3 men as being?
3 angels.
3 angels. Now, where's he getting that from?
Even though he says the Lord, capital Lord, so Yahweh, here means 3 angels. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't have known it at the time that I first saw that quote, but that's the traditional Jewish interpretation. Here you have Rashi, who is the greatest of all medieval rabbis. And what does he say about this text? It says, he brought the angels to him. That is Yahweh, the Holy One, blessed be he. That's the way he reproduces, by the way, the Yahweh here. The Holy One, blessed be he. Sounds Muslim, doesn't it? He brought the angels to him in the forms of humans. So what do you do with this if you're a Jehovah's Witness?
You have to explain it away. You have to add something to it to rationalize your way of seeing things. You can't just believe what the text says. So I would say the Jewish people have the same sensitivities that Jehovah's Witnesses have. Because they already can accept something, if it says it, they have to explain it away.
But then we have Arnold Fruchtenbaum, who is a Messianic Jew of the last generation. You can find some of his videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Arnold Fruchtenbaum, that is Arnold, isn't it? Let me just check that.
Yes, Arnold.
He's a Messianic Jew and very learned, and has published, what is this one called? The Ariel's Bible Commentary, the Book of Genesis, and he's done several others since. Yeah. He's a PhD, by the way. And he knows what he's talking about. He's done his research, and as a Messianic Jew, what does he say about this text?
He says, while Abraham was sitting at the tent door, perhaps waiting for the meal to be ready, he lifted up his eyes and looked. And what he saw was, and lo, 3 men stood over against him. As the context shows, one of these 3 men is God in visible form, and the other 2 are angels. In rabbinic tradition, all 3 are angels, and the reason they say God sent 3 angels is because they believe no one angel is given more than one thing to do. Therefore, because there are 3 tasks involved, God had to send 3 angels. According to Rashi, one angel was there to heal Abraham of his circumcision, and that was the angel Raphael. The second one was to inform Sarah that she will have a son, and that was Michael. And the third one came to destroy Sodom, and that was Gabriel.
So Rashi and other Jewish interpreters have to explain away what the text says,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
just like we did.
But he sees and just accepts what it actually says.
And we are inclined to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
If God wanted to say 3 angels, he could have said 3 angels and saved us all this tribulation.
Yeah. All right, so then we had a quote from Griffith Thomas, who says, in this section we have an illustration of fellowship with God and some of its essential features. Fellowship is the crowning purpose of God's revelation. 1 John 1:3. There is nothing higher than this, for man's life finds its complete realization in union and communion with God. So he's talking about referencing him eating with Yahweh.
Now we have stressed that in the other video, which we'll link at the end on this very chapter. Mm-hmm. The communion aspect we would have missed as witnesses, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah.
That he's sitting, he's not just talking to him as he's done before in his appearances in the book of Genesis. He's sitting and communing with him and then walking with him afterwards.
Yeah, so it's kind of reminiscent of God talking with Adam and Eve and spending time with them. So
and
it's communion.
It's significant that this happens after the covenant is reconfirmed and their names are changed in the previous chapter. So we also have Derek Kidner and John Calvin now directly addressing the issue of did they, as many evangelicals are prone to think, did Abraham and presumably Sarah too actually see the Trinity?
Christian commentators have been tempted to discern the 3 persons of the Trinity here, but the passage differentiates clearly between the Lord and his 2 companions.
Okay, so Kidner's not fooled by what zealous Christians think. He goes with the text too. Here's Calvin. Bowed himself toward the ground. He's addressing that sentence. This token of reverence was in common use with Oriental nations. The mystery which some of the ancient writers have endeavored to elicit from this fact, namely that Abraham adored one out of the 3 whom he saw, and therefore perceived by faith that there are 3 persons in one God, since it is frivolous and obnoxious to ridicule and calumny, I am more than content to omit. I'll ignore that. No, he believes that, yes, there was a theophany here, a manifestation of God himself. And that's the one that really Abraham was addressing. That person was the one that Abraham is talking to one-on-one. But he's not going to go, as a very good exegete, Calvin's not going to go where a lot of zealous Christians want to go with this text. So we can link.
We're going to link to the video we did on Genesis 18. It was called Yahweh Talks and Eats, and we could put in there walks as well.
Walks
with Abraham. Is anything impossible for Yahweh? That
was our theme, wasn't it? That's the thought that's right in this text in the next section that we'll read next time. Is anything impossible for Yahweh? See you then.